Hey, what is up guys? So you asked for it and of course I always deliver. We're going to be going over the best decks right now in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! This is by tournament statistics as well as different gameplay play styles. So I chose these because I think that you guys will like the variety that I picked in this, as well as being able to compete in tournaments, or if you want to get more competitive online or just get some more wins in, because it's usually more fun winning than losing in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into it. I have some videos of like the first deck if you guys want to check it out. This is going to be the Demise Control Cleese. If you guys haven't seen the video, I'll link it down below in the description box, but anyways, you guys can go and check that out and kind of get some of the ideas for the gameplay, and then I'll get some more gameplay for all these other decks that we're going to be talking about, because we're going to be going over the top 5. I'm going to be going over these relatively quick because, again, we're going to be going over 5 decks, but if you guys just want to go ahead and download them, like the YDK file, I'll leave that down below in the description box. You guys can go download it, import it right into your folder, and you'll be good to go. If you guys don't know how to do that, I'll leave a link down below in the description box also, and it'll be a video tutorial on how to actually get the deck profiles, and you guys can just copy and paste it. That way you don't have to manually type in every single card, so I did the work for you guys. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into it, and I'm going to briefly explain how the deck also plays. I'm just going to be mousing over the cards this way. For some of you guys that are playing on Dueling Network, I know some of you guys don't have access to just, copying like a file. So I'll just mouse over them, and you guys can just be able to see the name over in the top left hand corner, and then you guys can go ahead and just add them into your game. But anyways, the first deck that we're going to be going over is called Demise Cleese, or Control Cleese, or Anti-Meta, or I really hate playing against this deck Cleese. So this deck is basically a control deck. If you are a player that likes to make it so your opponent literally cannot Yu-Gi-Oh! And make them super upset against dueling you, this could be the deck for you. Now, I do want to mention that, yes, of course, there are certain things that can completely shut down this deck, especially in Game 2, when they go ahead and they're like anti-spell fragrance. Yes, you're going to have a very terrible time, but that can be said about any deck. If there's Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, Iron Wall, maybe Mask or Restrict, you can shut down other decks as well. But for the most part, this deck, I would say, is relatively budget-friendly, minus Cards of Demise. A lot of these Clee cards are relatively cheap, maybe minus Monolith, but you can probably get away, honestly, without playing this card. But this is a deck, well, of course, the Solemn Strikes, but those aren't, like, pivotal to the archetypes build. But it definitely does help out because you're going to be able to stop everything. Maybe if you have some of these, like, old Clee cards lying around, you can maybe try out a build of this, maybe without Solemn Strikes and stuff like that. But Cards of Demise is kind of required, so if you don't have these, I really recommend you guys to maybe stay away from this deck. But overall, it's a relatively simple and straightforward deck. Not very much thought process will go into this, so if you're one of those players that, doesn't really like to think too much, you just kind of want to win and just be like, nah, I'm going to flip up this one card and you can't play, this could definitely be the deck for you. But like I said, if you guys want to watch this deck in action to understand some of the, I wouldn't even call them combos, I would just say, just activate literally everything. It's a very, again, simple and straightforward deck. With the exception of maybe Magic Drain, you have to hit like the right card against a certain deck, like you might want to let some things go through, but again, it's a very simple and straightforward deck for the most part. Next up, we have something that I think is pretty interesting. We have the Quantum Monarchs, if you want to call it that. This is the one that has the extra deck. So a lot of Monarch players, they've been playing the one where it's like your opponent can't special summon from the extra deck. Now this one is a different build, but it is really cool and I think it's relatively unique. It was piloted by Tiff Lawman recently and she did relatively well with it, but let's go ahead and go into the deck profile. This deck, it's got a little bit of options as far as the extra deck goes, because you can make the right thing at the right time. It's a relatively straightforward. There's a little bit of combos in it, much more like thought process oriented than the previous one. But yeah, anyways, we can go ahead and kind of dip into it. So we got the Gem Knight Garnet, we got 2 copies of Urbis, and then 3 copies of the Heavenly Monarch. Then we got Kuraz, Overdrive Teleporter, so you just summon 2 level 3 Psychic monsters, really good effect. And then we got 2 copies of the Red Layer and 1 copy of the Blue Layer. This is used to get the build going so you can recycle your engine. They also did this in the OCG a while back. Then we have the Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, and then we got Mithra and 1 copy of Eidos, 3 Mech C, 3 Idea. Then we got the Triple Pantheism, we got the Triple Tenacity, 1 Dark Hole. I'm assuming Regeki usually would be played over this, but on her profile she just had the 1 Dark Hole and then sided another one. And then we have 2 Itelis, Triple Stormforth, Triple Brilliant, Return of the Monarchs, and Triple of the Prime. So it allows you to basically abuse and get free cards for days, and that's why this deck I think is really cool. And it's awesome to be able to actually use your extra deck, because you know, a lot of Monarch players, they go for these cards that say you can't have any cards in your extra deck. So nice to see some people actually trying out a different build. I think this one's much better simply because the ability of like the Prime Monarch is already annoying enough. You combo that with being able to make some of the more stronger exceeds in the game, like Pleiades, like Volcasaurus. You can like just game your opponent relatively quick with that. As far as the side deck, oh well, I guess we should go over the extra deck. I would say you can basically use everything in it. It's not like, you know, Kozmos, where you're very rarely going to dip into the extra deck, except for the Kozmo deck that we will be covering in just a moment. But this one, like I said, is piloted by Tiff Lawman, so credit goes to her for building this. But as far as the side deck, we got the Majesty's Fiend, the Lancias, Flying Seas, another Dark Hole, Twin Twister, Triple Trap Stun, and Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. A lot of people are just Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. It just deals with a lot of like the Phantom Knights and like the Burning Abyss, that kind of stuff. So yeah, this one I would say it's a deck that I would say is not that budget friendly because of some of the cards. But I mean, you know, Overdrive Teleporter is a relatively old card. I don't think this card's even had a reprint. But some of the stuff, if you add up everything, yeah, it could get a little bit expensive. But for the most part, you guys can try out different builds of Monarch, especially. Like, this card's still kind of pricey. Especially, again, if you're trying to build a deck like under 50 bucks with the extra deck. Yeah, it can be kind of difficult. But for the most part, I would say it's okay. It's not going to be the most expensive deck, and it's not going to be the cheapest. Next up, we're going to go into this one. This is a Phantom Knight Burning Abyss deck, so it's kind of got both of the worlds together. Now, with the addition of Ghost Reaper, this deck has been just kind of... It really did get hurt because Dante is so important in the deck. Like, going into games 2 and 3, it can just be real nasty to run into the Ghost Reaper. But anyways, let's go and jump right into it. So there's 1 Barbar, 2 copies of Seer, 2 copies of Fiendish Rhino, 1 Libic, 2 copies of Farfa, 1 Graph, 1 Tour Guide, 3 of the Gloves, 2 copies of Skarm, 3 Cloak, 3 of the Silent Boots, Regeki, Rhoda, Foolish, 2 Twin Twisters, 2 Mass Change Seconds, 2 Time Space Trap Holes. We got the Crush Card Virus, Phantom Knight's Wing, and then the Fog Blades, triple of those. We got 1 of the Sword, and then the Solemn Brigade. For the extra deck, we got the Dark Laws. Again, I'm going to go over these a little bit fast just to mouse over them because we got to cover a lot. But for the most part, generally just got to go for that first turn, Dante. That's pretty much how the deck plays. Then we have 2 copies of the Gamma Seal, just helps you deal with the problematic cards and to deal with some of the infinities and stuff like that. We got these, and then we got Deck Devastation Virus. Crush Card Virus is also a pretty decent card in this deck because you have so many targets. And now it's at 3, like, it's crazy. Crush Card's at 3 and some decks don't even play it, just because, you know, it's been neutered. And then we have Anti-Spell Fragrance, and then of course Magic Drain. A lot of people are running Magic Drain just because it's always like free advantage, and if they don't do anything, you get to negate certain things that usually would like cost you to discard or something like that. Next up, we have the Pendulum deck. This is the only like Pendulum deck I think is like really relevant, which is the Draco Peformapal build. Like, it's pretty much what like I think a lot of players are playing now. There's no more pet base. It's just like Peformapal Dracos. But anyways, there's a lot of vanillas here. So we got oh, this one by the way is Christian Vogler. This is his deck, so credit again goes to all the people that it says the name on the top. But anyways, we got the Triple of the Masters, then we got the Draco, then we got the Flash Knight. This one he said he just likes because it's a high skill, plus it's got decent attack, and on top of that it's a target for Rescue Rabbit. And then we have the Monkey Board, and then we have the Lecter, so it's good against Mirror Match, but other than that it's not the greatest card. Then we have the 1 Joker, 2 Silver Claw, 2 of the Ariadne, and then we have the Pendulum Wizard, and then we got 1 Rescue Rabbit because there's a bunch of targets for that. Then we got the Lizard Draws, and then 2 Eccentric Archfiends, or Archfiend Eccentric, and then we got Triple Maxi, 2 Turtle, 2 copy of Painful Decision, we got the Instant Fusion, Raigeki, the Clash, 2 Twin Twister, Chaos, Trap Hole, and then the Solemn Brigade. You'll see that a lot. Again, these are supposed to be like kind of meta-ish, you know, these are supposed to be the top decks. So you're going to see that a lot in these. And then for the extra deck, we got the Double Dynaster, we got the Norden. This card's really popular now, the Hope Harbinger. It doesn't come out too often, but you know what? If you can make it, it's a pretty good card. And that's pretty much it. Oh, something interesting about the side deck. He made a point of Peformapal Dracos, saying that it was really good against Monarchs, and it is pretty good against Phantom Knights also, and like Burning Abyss. Just a really good card indeed. It lets you like OTK a lot easier. You can't, but no battle fader is gonna happen today. And then we got the Denkos, we got System Down, Magic Deflector. Love this card against, I think it was Monarchs. Is what he said, and then we got Master Strength, Iron Wallet, then Ultimate Providence. He didn't really like this card too much, but it's still like, it's another target with Ariadne. It can kind of help out at certain times. And then lastly, we got the Kozmos. So this one was by Jake Finney. This one is a Fire King build, and I think this one's really cool. This one is going to be a little bit more difficult to play, but if you don't want to play the Fire Kings, obviously you just swap out the Fire Kings and throw in whatever you like as far as your preference goes. But there's Triple Dark Destroyer, we got the Forerunner, the Landwalker, that's one of the newer ones. We got the Double Slip Rider, and then we have Double the Dark Lady, another new card. And we got the Shuttle. Only one Farm Girl. It's so crazy to see how like Cosmos evolved. Like Farm Girl was like everyone's like main to a triple, and then now like as the game has evolved with the Straw Mans and the Tin Cans and everything like that. It's interesting to see. But as far as this deck goes, it's not a very straightforward deck when you're playing the Fire King build. You have to know your combos. So look up some video tutorials of combos. I'm actually going to link one that I watched down below if you guys want to check out the Kozmo combos with the Fire Kings. It's really extensive, and the guy did a really good job on it, so like I'll give him a shout out because he did his homework on that, and credit does go to that guy obviously for the video. But yeah, this one's, I would say this deck, again, you're gonna have to know your combos. So if you like those extensive plays that like go off and go absolutely crazy, where you can go ahead and go for like a first turn. You can go for a first turn Infinity, and then like a Dark Lady, and then like you have another Cosmos Search. It's really nasty to run into, and you can just like automatically make your opponent quit. As far as Actor Record, you'd be like, wait, why would you play Dante in here? Okay, there you go. There's the Ghost Reaper. It's automatic win condition against certain decks. Specifically anything that likes to like just go Dante. Ghost Reaper just doesn't, nah, like no more Dante, so that's why it's there. But we got the Regeki, the System Down, the Dark Holes. And then we got the Twin Twister, Magic Deflector, Vandy's Infamous, and Master Restricted deal with those pesky Monarchs or just like anything triggers. I don't know, some rogue decks, but these are pretty much the top 5. If you guys felt like I didn't cover a certain deck that you really think I should be covering, let me know. I'll definitely, I can update this and add some other decks to it. If you guys want to send me in replays of any of these decks in action, I would love to see them. You can send them to this email address. I'll just type it right here. You can send it to azneyesreplays@gmail.com. This one right here that I'll highlight. Yeah, just send me in the replays, and I can cover them and give you guys a shout out and stuff like that. But congrats to all you guys that have been winning, because these are all like winning deck profiles for regionals, YCSs, ARGs. These are a lot of competitive decks too. So keep in mind that these decks will be really relevant in the game, so be expected to play against these as well, because these are, again, the top decks, because you guys asked for it, and of course I always deliver, and you guys can go ahead and download the videos, and I'll get some footage for you guys soon. Obviously when you guys email me, I'll get those replays for you guys, and you guys can kind of see some of the combos. Again, this one is really combo extensive, so if you don't like memorizing like 30 steps in a combo, this deck is not for you, but there's great variety. So let me know, guys, what you think of some of these decks, and if you guys have any improvements or things that you can do to add to these decks, let me know in the comment section below. But thanks for watching, guys, and make sure you guys give that like button a titty slap, because it took me 5 hours to get all these these deck profiles for you guys. But thanks for watching, guys. It's been your boy Will Smith, signing out.